Even silence spoke between them, carrying a weight that words could never capture. Even silence spoke between them, Fazza's heartfelt confession. In the spaces where sounds ceased, their souls found a language older than speech, older than time itself. Every glance, every brush of a hand, every pause between breaths became a conversation of hearts. Sheikh Hamdan did not need to speak to reveal his devotion. It flowed effortlessly through the quiet, a confession more profound than any declaration. In moments like these, the world fell away, leaving only the two of them suspended in a universe of shared understanding. The palace walls, the golden halls, the courtiers and ceremonies, all vanished when their eyes met. He could feel her thoughts as clearly as his own, her emotions mirrored in the rhythm of his heartbeat. Their silence was not emptiness, it was intimacy, a place where vulnerability was safe and love could breathe freely without judgment or expectation. He had always believed that words were powerful, yet he discovered that sometimes the absence of words spoke even louder. In the hush between them, Sheikh Hamdan's heart revealed itself fully, the quiet yearnings, the unsaid promises, the devotion that could not be contained by letters or verses. Every glance became a confession, every lingering gaze a testament to the depth of his feeling. In that quiet space, nothing needed explanation. Love itself was the language, and it spoke more eloquently than any poem he could write. There were times when the world demanded performance and composure, yet in her presence, he could simply be. The prince, the leader, the symbol of authority, all these roles melted away in the warmth of her gaze. Silence became their sanctuary, a refuge from expectation, a sacred space where Sheikh Hamdan could reveal his heart without fear. In that quiet, he understood a truth few ever encounter: that love does not always need words to exist, and that the most profound connections are often felt, not spoken. Even the simplest gestures carried meaning. A hand brushing against hers, a subtle shift closer, the faintest smile. Each moment became a sentence in the language of their hearts. Fazza's affection did not need announcement or display. It was evident in the way he lingered in her presence, in the way he listened with his entire being, and in the way his eyes traced her features as if memorizing every curve of her soul. Their silence was not emptiness but eloquence, a dialogue without end, an eternal conversation that existed beyond time. Sometimes, when they were apart, he could still feel her presence in the quiet. The world might move on around him, but he carried the resonance of their unspoken words wherever he went. In those moments of stillness, he wrote verses in his mind, letters he would never send, conversations he could only have with himself. Even in the absence of sound, their hearts remained intertwined, communicating across distance, affirming a love that was unwavering and timeless. There were nights when he sat beneath the stars, letting the cool desert wind carry the weight of his emotions. He did not need to utter her name aloud. The wind seemed to know it already, and the moon seemed to bend closer in recognition. His heart was a vessel of confession, overflowing with emotions that required no audience. The silence became a medium through which he revealed everything he felt, a gentle yet profound testament to a love that transcended speech and ceremony alike. Even in public, the subtle currents of his affection were evident to those who looked closely. A glance held longer than necessary, a slight pause before he spoke, a warmth in his eyes that could not be concealed. These became silent letters, messages composed solely for her. Sheikh Hamdan's heartfelt confession was not a performance but a quiet reality, a truth embedded in the very way he existed in her presence. It was proof that intimacy and understanding do not always require words, sometimes they require only attention and presence. The depth of their connection was mirrored in the quiet spaces where neither dared to speak, where both understood that words might somehow limit what was infinite. In those moments, Sheikh Hamdan's devotion radiated, a force so gentle yet so commanding that it required no validation. Silence, he realized, could carry the full weight of feeling. Every unspoken sentence, every unexpressed emotion, became sacred. It was in that silence that he revealed his heart most honestly, more than any poem, speech.
Even as the world moved around them, bustling with ceremonies, meetings, and endless expectations, Their silence remained untouched, a sacred space no one could enter. Sheikh Hamdan carried it with him everywhere, like a hidden jewel, a private universe where her presence lingered in every thought and every breath. It was in that silence that he found clarity, a reminder of what truly mattered beyond titles, obligations, and appearances. Love, he realized, was not in the spoken word but in the steadfast devotion that persisted quietly, unassailable and eternal. Sometimes when he closed his eyes, he could hear her in the rhythm of his own heartbeat, a gentle cadence that needed no interpretation. Even in solitude, her essence filled the air, unannounced yet undeniable. Each silent interaction they shared, a glance across the room, a soft sigh, a knowing pause, was a conversation deeper than any dialogue, a confession that required no audience, no understanding beyond the two of them. In these moments, Sheikh Hamdan understood that love's truest language is often felt, not articulated. There were afternoons when he would sit beneath the vast desert sky, letting the wind carry his thoughts to her, imagining her smile, her laughter, her calm presence beside him. Words were unnecessary in these moments because their hearts spoke without delay, communicating across the distance of space and expectation. He found peace in the knowledge that even silence could convey devotion so profound that time itself seemed to pause and acknowledge it. Every gentle breeze, every shifting shadow of the sun, seemed to echo her quiet influence in his life. Each poem is a vessel for emotion, a testament that even those who rule can be profoundly human. The crown may symbolize authority, but the pen reveals the heart, a heart that loves deeply, endlessly, and with an honesty the world rarely sees. Even in the presence of others, the memory of their shared silence lent him a serenity that no protocol could manufacture. His demeanor, calm and composed, carried the weight of unspoken emotions that few could comprehend. It was a subtle strength, a quiet power that emanated from his understanding that true intimacy does not need to be declared, only felt and honored. Through silence, Sheikh Hamdan confessed his love daily, not with spectacle, but with presence, attention, and unwavering fidelity of heart. Ultimately, behind the crown lives a man who still writes her as a story of balance between duty and devotion. It tells of a prince who commands nations yet kneels before the quiet power of love. Sheikh Hamdan's hidden soul is revealed not in public gestures, but in the tender verses that speak of a woman who shaped his inner universe.